It's 19 hours GMT. Hello, good evening to you. Welcome to News 360 and it's live news up here at Adesawe in Kanda. My name is Alfred Okansi.
And I'm Natalie Fort. A look at the top stories this evening.
News 360 headlines is brought to you by Deluxe Paid,
GT Bank,
and Calipo. I'll top on the news tonight. Hundreds of protesters hit the streets of Nkranza in newly created Bono East over siting of regional capital.
Also, the three teacher unions urge Education Ministry to shelve the award of pre-tertiary diploma.
Also ahead this evening, Ghana to become the second country in Africa after Rwanda in medical drone delivery after Zipline rolls out its services in second quarter of the year.
We're getting into the world of business tonight, where telecommunications company Vodafone Ghana says it will not succumb to pressure to list on the Ghana Stock Exchange.
And on the international front this evening, UN says Nigeria's president broke international rules when he recently suspended Chief Justice. Stay with us here on News 360. We've got the details of these and much more news. As always, you could watch us all across the world on 3news.com and TV3 Ghana on Facebook.
Absolutely. Let's go into our first story this evening, where hundreds of protesters hit the streets of Nkranza in the newly created Bono East region over what they described as sidelining the Nkranza township in the selection of the regional capital. Now, they blamed the development on some politicians whom they claim were influential in the creation of the new region. Here's a report by regional correspondent Larry Pakwesi Moses.
According to the protesters, Nkranza is strategically located with the land, population and resources required for the regional capital. The Dontinghini of the Nkranza traditional area, Nana Akufo-Addo IV, said they did not understand why the paramount chief of Techiman traditional area, Osadieyo Ekumfiamea II, made many public statements to the effect that Techiman was going to be selected and named as a regional capital when the siting of the regional capital was not discussed before the referendum.
14 paramountcy signed a petition for the creation of Bono East region. Although all the paramountcies are traditional equal, Nkranza paramountcy is the biggest in terms of population, polling stations and land size.
They expressed disappointment over the way the Nkranza Traditional Council was sidelined from participating in meetings pertaining to the creation of the new region, blaming the development on some politicians. They are of the view a former Minister of State, Professor Christopher Amiao Ekumfi, the Deputy Minister for Regional Reorganization and Development, Martin Ej Mensah Kosa, who are indigenes of Techiman, orchestrated the marginalization of Nkranza from being made the Bono East regional capital.
The traditional has already been sidelined from the race by Honorable Minister of Regional Reorganization and Development and his deputy. It's been orchestrated by people well connected to the Bono East creation.
President Akufo-Addo is expected to issue a constitutional instrument to give effect to the creation of the regions and the capitals from Tuesday, February 12. The capitals of the newly created regions are also to be named from that day.
That's the situation as it looks like in the Bono region. And so let's have a clear picture of what the situation is holistically, Natalie. So what do we have there?
Absolutely, Alfred. Here we have a map of Ghana to clearly outline the suggested regions. Now, you must keep in mind that these are merely suggested regions and regional capitals, and none of these capitals have yet been confirmed. But these protesters were demonstrating having explained that they got wind of the fact that Techiman will be the capital as opposed to Nkranza. So these are the capitals and the suggested capitals of these newly created regions. We have the Northeast region, where Nalerigu and Wale Wale are the proposed or the suggested regional capitals. In the Savannah region, there's Damango, Bole and Salaga as the suggested regional capitals, while the Ahafo region has Goso, Mem, Duayao, Nkwanta, Bechem, Widiem and Kenyase as the suggested capitals, and the Bono East region, there's Techiman, Atebu, and Nkranza as the suggested capitals of that region, while the Western North region has Bibiani, Seshwi Wioso, Seshwi Bekwai as the suggested capitals, and the Oti region has Jasikan, Kejebi, and Ketekrache as the suggested capitals. And once again, the main point here is that none of these capitals have been confirmed. They are just getting wind of the fact that in Nkranza, Techiman will be made the capital as opposed to in Nkranza, but they're still yet to be confirmed. Alfred?
Certainly, and as the days go by, I'm sure we'll get to know that official announcement. The Information Minister, Kojo Ponkroma, has already been speaking about this. We'll keep our eyes and our ears closely to that particular ministry and that official announcement in the coming days. But the three teacher unions have asked the Education Ministry to shelve the idea of the award of pre-tertiary diploma according to the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, and Coalition of Concerned Teachers, CCT. The move could affect quality of the graduates.
According to the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, the Education Ministry has entered into a partnership with an international body called Education Commission Outcomes, EOC, on the pre-tertiary diploma certification. This commission seeks to pump in $1 billion into education across the African continent to allow private participation in the management of public pre-tertiary schools. But according to NAGRAT, this could affect quality delivery and promote commercialization.
These people are businessmen. The funds that is coming is juicy. It's attractive to businessmen. And at the end of the day, what is going to happen is that when the funds begin to dwindle, like all funds have dwindled to third world countries, then those schools will be schools that the parents themselves will now have to be supporting to maintain in the system.
How sure are you with this?
Absolutely sure. We have been fighting the EOF, we have been fighting this Education Commission and the Global Steering Group for the past 10 years. They tried the same thing in Uganda. International pressure mounted on them, the teacher unions in Uganda, the Ugandan government is withdrawn out of this.
He cautioned the Education Ministry against going into the deal.
We call on government to halt private-public partnership agenda. In Ghana, we have named it Ghana Partnership Schools, GPS. So government should halt it immediately, or else the unions don't have any other choice, like we have prescribed in our press, to embark on an industrial action.
The president of the Coalition of Concerned Teachers, CCT Ghana, Kinali Awudu, advised the Ministry of Education to conduct broader consultations.
As I speak to you, so many schools in Ghana are suffering from petty things like teaching and learning materials and what have you. Teachers are complaining of their allowances which is not being paid and all that, and the minister is aware. So when these policies and other things keep coming, it gets the teacher who is the fulcrum of education much more angrier and think that the policymaker do not think more about their welfare.
Head of Conditions of Service for NAT, Ahina Kwakwashi, is of the view such initiatives could further affect the duration of students in their pre-tertiary education.
Whatever certificate they want to give at the end of SHS level, at that terminal level, it's up to them to decide. And again, I think they cannot on their own decide. Definitely they will engage stakeholders for them to come out with some kind of input.
The ministry has since in a statement denied the issue.
Some other news. The forum, comprising 12 labor unions, has given the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, 2 weeks to accurately compute past credit of pensioner contributions. At a news conference in Accra, chairman of the group, Isaac Bampo Addo, revealed the wrongful calculation has resulted in low pension benefits for workers. Daniel Opoku has the rest of the story.
The leadership of the forum recalled countless meetings with Senate since 2010 to get their concerns addressed. It also cited numerous engagements with the regulator, the National Pensions Regulatory Authority, but to no avail. According to the forum, the wrongful calculation of past credits by Senate has negatively impacted on contributions. Some contributors who retired in 2010 after 35 years of public service were paid a paltry 2,300 cedis.
Our members when they are on retirement, need to first take them to MPRA, go and see MPRA. And then when they go to MPRA will say, go and see your schemes. Meanwhile, these monies are with SNIT. They've not been paid to the schemes. Some of our members are receiving lump sum as low as 2,300 Ghana cedis for over 35 years of service to Mother Ghana.
Chairman of the forum, Isaac Bampuado, gave Senate 2 weeks to get their concerns resolved.
The regulator is aware of these things. We've had various meetings with them, plus SNIT, plus the Minister for Employment, just to resolve this issue. And as we speak now, the issues are still unresolved. And this time around, we are determined that come 28 February, if SNIT does not comply with the terms and conditions under which they are keeping these past credits, we have no option than to advise ourselves.
He again asked Senate to pay interest on the amount due following the delay.
Since we are supposed to manage these tier 2 funds, and you are pleading with us that when you transfer these monies to us, the SNIT scheme is going to collapse, then we are going to determine how much interest you're going to pay on these monies that are with you. So we agreed that, okay, then if you want to keep these monies, you pay 100% TB rate. And that's very marginal.
The group has since petitioned the Employment and Labor Relations Ministry.
President Akufo-Addo says Africans should never again permit themselves to be subjected to dehumanizing conditions and be sold into slavery. He was speaking at an event organized by the Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta on the sidelines of the ongoing 32nd ordinary session of the Assembly of the African Union, that's AU, in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
Nearly 12.5 million Africans from Central and West Africa who were sold into slavery had their freedom curtailed in order to create wealth for the people of unknown lands. President Akufo-Addo described the slave trade as one of the most barbaric episodes of human history.
Never again shall the African peoples be described as indentured servants or apprentices for life.
He noted Africans have a sacred duty and an onerous responsibility to help restore the dignity and pride of the African.
We're a continent of some 1.3 billion people, more than either the populations of Europe or the Americas. We're an enterprising, hardworking, and innovative people, and we must make it count.
President Akufo-Addo said Ghana is using the symbolism of 2019, dubbed as the Year of Return, to bring together Africans, persons of African descent, to strengthen the commitment of ensuring that this blot on the history of Africa never recurs.
We in Ghana will ensure that the focus of activities commemorating the arrival of the first African slaves in Virginia showcases the achievements, creativity, ingenuity, and resilience of the African peoples through the ages.
President Akufo-Addo encouraged Africans to be proud of their rich heritage.
Now, ahead of elections in Nigeria, international relations expert Dr. Vladimir Danso has admonished the government of Ghana to be concerned about threats to the security of Nigeria ahead of its crucial elections this weekend. According to him, any incident could cause a spill over into Ghana.
Nigeria's 84 million voters will go to the polls this weekend to give their verdict on Muhammadu Buhari. Nigeria celebrated Buhari's election in 2015 as not only a resounding rejection of Goodluck Jonathan, but also the first democratic transition since the return of civilian rule in 1999. Unfortunately, after 4 years, the economic improvement expected and his pledge to curb rampant corruption have been applied to political opponents. Insecurity remains a pressing issue, notably Boko Haram. International relations expert Dr. Vladimir Enchidanso is urging them to resort to the right channels to address grievances to avert any electoral violence.
Nigerian elections are always a source of concern. Nigerian politics is more on enclaves, it's horizontal, never vertical, running from the top to the down, and therefore you have pockets of people who count themselves as the mafias in Nigerian politics. On and on and on, you have former heads of state also bringing in their mouth into the Nigerian politics, making it more murky.
The presidential election has seen more mudslinging than serious debate. Vote rigging and violence are the immediate concerns. Vladimir Chidanso says Ghana must be concerned about what happens in Nigeria.
So we are very much worried about what will happen in the post-election kind of situation. Nigeria elections, like all elections in the world today, like we have seen, have never been clean. And if this one doesn't go clean, Ghana should be worried, because if anything untoward happens in Nigeria, Ghana is the destination, no other place. Many of them since Jonathan's time and earlier even, have had to come to Ghana and buy estates, land acquisition and whatnots and whatnots. The Nigerians are here in their numbers already, including their own big politicians.
A country with its median age of 18 faces what many say is a choice between two political veterans. 73 presidential candidates will be on the ballot as Nigerians go to the polls to choose who will lead the country for the next 4 years. The tall list of candidates is as a result of a 2018 reform which lowered the age limit for presidential candidates to 35 from 40. The only serious rival to President Muhammadu Buhari and his All Progressives Congress Party is the business tycoon and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party.
Keep an eye on what's happening in Nigeria in the coming days here on TV3 and our various platforms as well, Media General. So stay with us on the road to Aso Rock as we bring you all the details with respect to that and how the 73 candidates will maneuver to get their people to vote for them. But on MTN Video Report, our citizen journalist Mustafa Ahin reports on a stalled school block project at Asin Ahiaso in the Central Region.
This is the structure of Asin Ahiaso JHS in the Asin North Municipality in Central Region. This building was demolished way back closer to 2 years ago because of the nature of the school. They tried to put up a new building, so they contacted the DC of the area so that the town can also use their labor to mold the blocks and they use communal labor to put up the new building. So this is the structure of the new building that, with the help of the SEMA and then the DC, they were able to put up. And up to now, this is the state of the building closer to 2 years. So we are appealing to the government if they can help us to get a new structure or new GHS for our children. I am Mustafa Ahin, reporting from Asin Ahiaso in the Asin North Municipality in the Central Region.
You can also send your video reports. WhatsApp number 055-1433-044. It's live here on News360. We're live all across the world on TV3 Ghana, on Facebook, on DSTV channel 279, on 3news.com as well. Stay with us. We'll be back with business. Bagwes Yasari. But still to come tonight.
Ghana to become the second country in Africa after Rwanda in medical drone delivery after Zipline rolls out its services in second quarter of the year.
And in business tonight, telecommunications company Vodafone Ghana says it will not succumb to pressure to list on the Ghana Stock Exchange.
On the foreign front, UN says Nigeria's president broke international rules when he recently suspended Chief Justice.
Stay with us. We're back shortly. Hello, good evening and welcome to the Business News segment on News 360. My name is Parkwisi Asari. We begin with the issues within the telecoms industry, and telecommunication company Vodafone Ghana says it will not succumb to pressure to list on the Ghana Stock Exchange, reacting to reports to list on the boards following its recent acquisition of a 4G LTE license. The External Affairs Director, Gerhard Mensah, in a statement indicated that nowhere in the bid documents or the license condition was there reference made to listing. The External Affairs Director, Gerhard Mensah, in a statement admitted the bidding process for the 4G LTE license required successful companies to ensure 25% Ghanaian ownership of the operations, without spelling out the listing on the Ghana Stock Exchange, of which the company has satisfied since government owns 30% of it. He, however, emphasized that Vodafone had no aversion to listing or accommodating local participation in the company's fortunes. He noted the company's focus now was on ensuring that infrastructure was ready for the deployment and full-scale rollout of 4G as early as possible, adding that its successful partnership with government and the business investment in spectrum, infrastructure, products and services and staff were proof of its commitment to the country. In other news, technological change is mounting pressure on the way of doing business. Now, stakeholders have, however, implored government to adapt to the change to unlock economic potentials. The Chief Executive Officer of the Summit Ghana seeks to bridge the gap between the local and foreign markets by championing private sector-led growth and innovative public policies. My colleague George Quenon reports.
The last few years have seen significant changes in the corporate world, evidenced by dynamic technological shifts in the fundamental way businesses are conducted in the mature and emerging markets. Innovations do not only create phenomenal opportunities for economic growth, but also serious societal challenges. Over 400 CEOs are expected at this year's Ghana CEO Summit to set the pace in the development of the roadmap in this regard. CEO of Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Yofi Grant, hinted the summit will set the tone for the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda.
It's clear that we are looking at a new economic orientation of Ghana and a departure from the age-old basis on which we exported our raw materials and resources and participated in the lower ends of the value chains of the economy of our resources. And now we are looking to transform that into moving further up the value chain of our resources through industrialization, value addition and production and productivity.
According to the CEO of Chief Executive Network Ghana Limited, Ernest de Graft Ejuri, many businesses are embroiled in long and costly transformation plans which often only partially achieve their objectives. Kojo Choi is CEO of PaySwitch.
We've always been welcoming and inviting the world to come, but it's about time that we go out. And technology is what enables us to go out. 90% of the foreign cards, I'm talking about Visa card, MasterCards, China UnionPay card, American Express cards, but 90% of them are still processed outside Ghana. Think about it. Are we losing something? What do you think we are losing? Transaction fees? Oh yes, we are losing to foreigners. But more importantly, as Julian said, data.
The fourth Ghana CEO Summit, which is slated for May 20 and 21, is on the theme, the futuristic economy, technology-driven future of business and governance for economic transformation.
In other news, the Holy Trinity Medical Center is working at increasing awareness of antimicrobial resistance in Ghana. Antimicrobial resistance is the ability of bacterial and other parasites to stop antibiotics from working against it. The head of Medical Intensive Care Unit at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Oforeje, says antimicrobial resistance has become a serious public health problem that must be tackled head-on.
Antibiotics are medicines that attack bacteria in various ways to disable their structures and functions and thereby treat and, in some cases, prevent bacterial infections. According to the World Health Organization Global Report on Surveillance on the AMR in 2014, the antimicrobial resistance has become a serious public health problem as health systems can hardly find treatment options for common infections. The head of the intensive care unit at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Oforieje, says access to adequate data on the antiviral resistance will be important to help control the problem.
The data that we have is woefully inadequate. We are not collecting enough data. We don't know the magnitude of the problem. We have no way to tell whether some of the steps that we are taking to combat it is even working. So data is important. We need to equip ourselves to make sure that we are collecting enough data. We know what to do with the data, and we know who to tell the results of the studies that we do properly disseminated.
He stressed the need for a regulatory system that will enable medical practitioners to follow in administering antibiotics to patients. Dr. Foreje also advised patients to have a fair knowledge of drugs prescribed for them.
Irrespective of what medicine your doctor prescribes to you, ask them why the medicine is being given to you. How long should I take it? If I take it and there's a problem, are there any problems that I should recognize? So that the doctors themselves know that the patients are equipped and would ask questions. And then that way, the temptation to prescribe drugs that patients do not need will be minimized.
The Holy Trinity Medical Center usually holds such meetings aimed at enhancing healthcare service delivery in Ghana. Chief Executive Officer of the center emphasized the need for a public-private partnership for an effective health service delivery in the country.
If we want to think of an efficient health service delivery, there should be a good public-private partnership. It has a strong foundation to solving most of their problems, including what we traditionally call even the Nobel syndrome. Its solution really lies in a good relation between the public and private sector.
The Holy Trinity Medical Center seeks to ensure medicines are used to improve the quality of life of patients.
Well, that's all for the business news segment on News360. Thanks very much for watching. For more business news stories, do log on to our website, www.3news.com. My name is Parkwesi Asari. Over to you, Alfred. Thank you, Parkwesi Business. Now, let's go to Rwanda, because Ghana will become the second country in Africa after Rwanda to apply non-human-centered machines in healthcare delivery. When Delay was with the team of Ghanaian journalists in Rwanda to assess how Zipline is using drones to promote healthcare.
I'm currently at Zipline Muhanga, which is one of the two main distribution centers in Rwanda. And at this center, 18,000 units of blood have been supplied to one part of Rwanda. According to officials, this model has helped improve the emergency care delivery system here in Rwanda. Let's go in and let me tell you about how this process is carried through.
Hospitals request blood via phone call, email, WhatsApp message or SMS. The fulfillment operators, as they're called, confirm the order received and start preparing the package according to the order specifications and inventory availability. They also inform the flight operators about the priority, emergency or resupply of the order received. The flight operator asks the controller to request takeoff clearance from the traffic control at the Kigali airport. After packing the requested blood units, it is packaged into the system, assigned to the Zip or Zipline drone. Flight operators assign the package to the drone by scanning the QR code on the package and drone body, then loads the package to the Zip body and carries the body to the launcher. While the body is on the launcher, the wing and the battery are joined to the body in order to have a complete zip. Flight operators perform pre-flight checks, ask clearance for spinning motors and launching if the controller confirms. The flight operator launches the Zip from the operator's box.
Zipline 150 in
The fulfillment operators provide flight updates, estimated time of arrival, 5 minutes away alert, and package delivery to the ordering facility. Zipline launched operations in Mayunga district, southern Rwanda, in October 2016 as the world's first commercial regular drone delivery service. Rwanda uses the Zip to deliver blood products to 21 transfusion facilities. According to officials of Zipline, hospitals subscribed to Zipline used to take multiple hours to pick up blood at the regional center, but now blood is delivered directly to the facility in less than 30 minutes. The drones currently distribute only blood. However, plans are underway to include basic pharmaceuticals. Zipline Rwanda currently has 22 drones. According to officials, as at April last year, Zipline drones had made over 4,000 deliveries in Rwanda, covering over 300,000 kilometers and delivering over 7,000 units of blood. In Rwanda, the drone is able to deliver blood products in a maximum of 15 minutes to a place it would have taken over 4 hours for a car to reach. The firm introduced a new drone module earlier this year, which has top speed of about 128 kilometers per hour. It is about 12 seconds to run around a track of a standard stadium. Officials say the drone has been equipped with a safety parachute that allows it to land if for any reason it is unable to complete its mission and return to the distribution center. It has 2 motors, 2 propellers, 2 control surfaces. Between 3 to 5 minutes, they should be able to handle the supply. At the health facilities, there are no Zipline staff. The drone drops the delivery at an earmarked point where the hospital chooses. The battery has a GPS system which follows the outbound route and inbound route. Currently, there are 9 Ghanaians undergoing training on the use of the technology at the Mayunga Distribution Center. The team visited the Rahungo Provincial Hospital, which is a 3-hour drive minus traffic. When we arrived, an order had been placed for blood to be delivered, which took about 15 minutes.
Before, financially was cost because there is matter of fuel for that car, time consuming. And thirdly, if you have emergency, we couldn't save that person having round trip to get blood replacement. Even if we could be having blood bank in our hospital, but you had some maximum limit of unit. And since we started working with Zipline, the thing have changed. What was taking us 4 to 5 hours to get blood, that was round trip from here to Kigali. Now it's taking us 12 to 15 minutes.
The Mwanga Center has a capacity to handle 150 deliveries a day. We're told that between 20 to 40 deliveries are done in a day. Ghana intends to implement this model. This will help complement Ghana's healthcare delivery system. From Mwanga in Rwanda, Wendilai reporting for TV3 News.
All right, it's now time for some entertainment and lifestyle news with me, Nana Kwejuado. It's rather a mild and mellow Monday because we lost one legend, Willie Roy. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Now, moving on to the very first story. The body of Ghanaian high life singer Nochi Supremo has finally arrived at the Kotoka International Airport from India, where he died days after undergoing a brain tumor surgery. Emmanuel Ajiman has more.
Anochi Supremo, formerly Daddy Lumba Jr., suffered a brain tumor which rendered his left eye partially blind. The musician was flown to India where he underwent brain tumor surgery, but unfortunately, Anochi Supremo gave up the ghost on January 30, 2019. The Indian hospital demanded an amount of $21,000 for full payment of hospital bills before releasing his mortal remains to his family. Retrieving his mortal remains and the cost of flying it back to Ghana cost an amount of $36,000. The amount was mobilized through the benevolence of the public. Anochi's body arrived on Monday afternoon. The body arrived at the cargo section of the Kotoka International Airport and was received by members of his family. His manager Isaac Kobna-Zak, who accompanied him to India, narrated his ordeal whilst in India.
They kept the body there for 2 days and they gave me a maximum of 2 days to clear the bills. But then after that second day, I went to them that I cannot pay the bill within that period. Then they said then I have to put something down, that is release my passport and his passport document, so that they will grant me the opportunity to take the body to the mortuary.
His family was appreciative to Ghanaians for their donor support, stressing allowing their kinsman's body to be cremated in India was a no-no. Formerly known as Daddy Lumba Jr., the Lumba look-alike later changed his name to Anoche Supremo after his godfather Daddy Lumba filed a lawsuit against him for claiming to be his son and also impersonating him to get gifts from people.
All right, so may his soul also rest in peace. Now, still at the airport, winner of Talented Kids Season 8, DJ Switch, is back in Ghana after performing for African leaders at the AU headquarters in Ethiopia over the weekend.
This gift across the continent and around the world.
DJ Switch, aged 11, on Sunday thrilled African leaders as she performed on the sidelines of the 32nd Ordinary Session of the Assembly of Heads of State and Government of the African Union in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
DJ Switch.
It was so fantastic. I mean, I felt very great. The state of mind was that I make the whole Africa happy, because that was the whole Africa. We are all come to join, Ethiopians, Nigerians. You know,
she had just 3 minutes to excite participants, and the Wonder Kid seized the moment to shine. The meeting, among other things, discussed the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. In his speech, DJ Switch implored the gathering of presidents to prioritize the SDG Goal 4, which calls for inclusive and equitable quality education.
In sub-Saharan Africa, over 12 million girls are at risk of never receiving education. So, if children do not acquire the basics, it affects the socio-economic development of our continent. And I also told the people out there that the SDGs are about the future of my generation. So the president should not fail us.
The fast rising talent made Ghana proud. Her showmanship was admired by all.
I was very happy because she signed a ball for me. That means I should keep on my good work.
DJ Swish is expected to return to the classroom to make up for the contact hours lost.
So keep on the good work, DJ Switch, and that's how we wrap up tonight's edition of Entertainment News here. My name is Nana Kwejuado. There is more news on freenews.com.
It just gets me so excited.
Day. Absolutely.
Yeah, she's an amazing young girl.
Clear, it's a lot to happen with Talented Kisses in 10
Absolutely. Yes,
this year.
Yes.
But I want to say thank you. As always, it's been an amazing 60 minutes with you. My name is Alfred Okanse.
And I'm Natalie Force. For a lot more news, visit our website, 3news.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening.